Okay, welcome to another edition of the Above the Bridge podcast. I'm your host, Thaddeus. I hope you had a good Thanksgiving holiday. For everybody that's new to the show, please like, subscribe, comment on any of our platforms or YouTube. It helps out a lot. Please do that. First, I want to do is shout out our sponsors. Shout out to Defend Hawaii, and they got some new stuff for Christmas. Go check them out at defendhawaii.com or their store in Windward Mall called No One. They got crazy new drops. They're probably one of the best clothing brands here in Hawaii, especially for Christmas time. Go check them out. Defendhawaii.com. If you use promo code ATBPod upon checkout, you'll get 15% off everything you order. Next, we have IREP Detail Supply, and they're your one-stop shop superstore for everything you need to detail your vehicle. Go check them out. They have a store in Temple Valley Shopping Center. If you're listening from Vegas, they have a shop in Vegas. If not, go to their website, irepdetailsupply.com. Promo code ATBPod upon checkout. You'll also get 15% off everything you order. Next, we have Hawaii Candy Factory, and their stuff is everywhere. They have the cute packaging called Noms. Their snacks, local snacks. My favorite right now is the banana lumpia chocolate bark. But go check them out. HawaiiCandyFactory.com. Promo code ATBPod upon checkout. You'll get 10% off your entire purchase order. Last but not least, we have our medicinal mushroom company, and it's Medicinal Mushroom Hawaii. It's a locally based medicinal mushroom company. And right now they have 4 extracted mushroom tinctures. And each one of these mushrooms have a medicinal property. If you don't know what medicinal properties each one has, go check out their website. It's medmushroomhigh.com. They have lion's mane, chaga, turkey tail, and red reishi. I take these religiously. The lion's mane is a good nootropic. I take some right before I record every podcast. The red reishi I use for sleep. But go check them out. Medmushroomhigh.com. If you want to order mushrooms, you'll get 45% off your first tincture if you use promo code ATBPod upon checkout, and make sure it's all capitals. ATBPod, all capitals. All right. Aloha. Okay, this week on my show is somebody, honestly, since I started this show, I wanted to have as a guest on my show. Is somebody, and I just looked this up, I've known for over 20 years, over 2 decades. And I'm not trying to shout out our age, but you've been my friend for that long, and someone that I really do care about. Rella from the radio, but I don't know why I'm calling you Rella because I know you're Pimperella.
Oh my gosh, you did not. That's secrets.
I
Oh
put
my
you on
gosh.
blast when Chris Stiles was on my show, and I'm like, because you guys were together on the radio every morning, and I was like, yeah, I know her as Pimperella, so I don't know
No, you
what this
don't.
Rella shit is she's trying to claim, but
Oh my gosh, Pimperella. That's far, far behind us. Kind
MySpace.
of far. Oh my, yes, MySpace. Okay. So do you know how I got that stupid name?
I remember you telling me, but I forgot. But I know you told me the story, but you can
Yeah.
tell it to me again.
Okay. So MySpace, for you youngins who are watching this, is kind of like an outdated, I guess, Instagram.
Yeah,
Instagram and Facebook had a baby and or had a grandfather, and it was MySpace.
yeah.
If you want to go even older, there was something called Friendster, there was something called Asian Avenue,
Asian
and now
Avenue.
in fact, I think we met on Asian Avenue. I don't know, maybe it was in the club. I'm not
Probably
sure, but whatever
Asian
it was,
Avenue.
yeah, I just thoroughly showed our age, and I say our age. But yeah, there was, I think at this one time, there was this guy, he was messaging me and he was like, so what is your ethnicity? Because he couldn't tell what my ethnicity was. And so I shot off all 8, 9 nationalities. And he's like, wow, he's like, your ancestors must have been pimps then. And so he goes, I'm gonna call you Pimperella, like Cinderella, but the pimp version. So I renamed my MySpace page Pimperella. And then when I got into radio, I did a whole bunch of overnights and stuff like that. And I think it was iHeart when I first started. And then I got a midday afternoon show, but I was the traffic person. So I would go in
I
from one
remember
station
that.
to the other. And at the time, it was McCunny who was doing Island 98.5. And McCunny nicknamed me the Rella, like I was an object. So for short, he called me the Rella. And then when I finally got my own middays, I kind of just dropped the, and then I just became Rella. So
It's
it's kind of odd
weird.
because my husband doesn't even know what my real name was until we got married.
He's like,
So
what? That's your real name?
he's like, wait, who is this on the marriage certificate? I'm like, oh, that's my government name. So he had no
So
idea.
weird. Because we didn't call you Rella, we called you Pimper.
Oh my gosh, that's right. That's right. And I
You
think your
dropped the
sister
wrong
started
part.
that.
Oh yeah, of course. Heidi
Yeah.
renames all my friends. None of my friends have a regular name.
Nope. No,
Was
not at all.
yeah, is good times back then, and um I sent you a picture of us in Zanzibar. I don't even know how long ago that was, and
Gosh.
because I was looking up old pictures of because Tati came up, and I was looking for old pictures, and that picture came up, and it was you and Tati and me, and I sent it to Tati, and the first thing she said was, "Oh, she didn't have any tattoos," and she said you and I still look the same, so I'm claiming that.
Aw, awesome. I'll take it.
I didn't realize that you didn't have any tattoos back then. I think you
I
might have had a
had,
tramp stamp or some ghetto Eva Beach tattoo. I don't
whoa, slow it down.
know.
I did have a small little scratch pad one that was like here, but of course it's covered. And then I did have like a tribal that went across my back. You know me way too well. But yeah, and that is still there, but it's somewhat like a rash. It's spread a little bit.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you went full tatted up, but it matches you. Like you can pull that off. Like it looks definitely
Thanks.
cool. Yeah.
Oh gosh.
I do remember when you were on the radio for the traffic. I remember you and oh, what was Tati's friend's name that was on the radio?
Chantilly did it and
Chantilly,
Pomai
that's
did
the
it
one.
too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Chantilly. And I would always try to get Chantilly to play Linkin Park on the Hawaiian radio station. And who was it? Big T's. I forget what it was, but I bet them one time and I ended up owing them Jamba Juice because they actually played it on the Hawaiian music station.
Would be him. If you
Yeah,
he doesn't like to lose dares,
yeah.
so I should have told you that ahead of time.
Yeah, but
Too
oh, that
funny.
was when we used to hang out every single weekend at Zanzibar and
Yes.
Pipeline. Back in the day, we had like the white. I remember going to Macy's in Ala Moana because it was white night or black night, and we'd have to buy like certain color clothes, and we would all
Yep.
every single weekend we would be hanging out, especially with my sister and Will and
Hmm.
our whole little crew. It was definitely good times back then. Definitely way more carefree and less responsibilities than we have now.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yep. And that was before the white party was a white party.
Yeah, before it was a thing.
Yep. Yeah. We were before our time, I think.
Yeah, it was good times, and I mean, like I said, I've known you for 20 years and it's been cool. I think over the years, we always like will run into each other, but it's always the same. Like I'll see you and it's like, oh, I just saw you last week, kind.
Yeah. Of
Yeah,
course. Yep. Always the same. Doesn't skip a beat.
yeah. But I do know you also from through my friends who are racers because you used to race, right? You're a midnight or insane. I can't remember.
Midnight.
Midnight, yeah. It was like a battle,
Yes.
right? And my boys were insane. I never got into that, but my close friends were like Frankie them and you guys like
Yep.
had a squabble and they made it cool or whatever. But I remember you're known as the midnight girl.
I'm the midnight mama. I'm the only female. I was the only girl on the, I guess, in the club. Before me, their nights consisted of meeting up at Mililani Walmart, racing to Kahala Chevron, and then racing to Campbell, and then racing back to McCully Zippies just to have early morning breakfast. And then that's it. They spread out and they go home. After I came on board, so how I got with them was the guy I worked at Fluker Acura. I started dating one of the lot boys. He was in Midnight, and I became part of the group. When we broke up and went our separate ways, I still stayed with the group. So I was the one because I've always been, I like to think of myself as one of the boys. So, you know, I'm an only child growing up. I was my dad's son till I was about 16, stripping, rebuilding engines. I almost thought at one point I was the ugly duckling because I remember one day my dad wakes me up. He goes, "Okay, girl, we're going outside. We're going to rescreen the screens today." I said, "What, Dad?" He goes, "We're going to rescreen the screens." I had no idea what he was talking about. And I was like, okay. So the old school screens, you could take it off of the window. You take the little rubber thing off,
Yeah.
right? And then you cut the thing and then you go with the screwdriver and you put them all back in. And he goes, "Yeah, I'm teaching you this because if you never get married, you can do them on your own house." And I was like, "So what are you saying?"
Who said I'm not getting married?
Right. So apparently, but anyway, when I got into Midnight, I started making our nights a little bit more interesting instead of just wasting gas. I did treasure hunts
Oh,
where they had a list of things like you need to get a receipt from 7-Eleven in Waikiki. You got to grab sands from the beach in Nanakuli or something like that. Um, you got to bring three matches from such and such restaurant or something. So it was a long one. Before I did that, I just made a treasure hunt. Whoever got the best treasure wins. I never did it again because on that first treasure hunt, we had to meet up at midnight at a certain place. One person brought the McDonald's drive-through sign. They undrilled it, unscrewed it from the floor, and brought the whole damn sign. And at the time, that was a whole 3D one where
yep,
it's bolted into the ground, right? And it says drive-through.
yep.
Yeah, somebody came to the meeting with that. Someone came with a stolen Acura,
Oh,
borrowed. It went back, borrowed. Um, and there was something else, but I never did it again because I can't trust them.
you
So I had to
provoke
do,
you provoke illegal shit.
and so I did not. I did not. I was like, treasure, not stolen goods, treasure. It was a treasure hunt. So after that, I did stuff like that. We would do laser tag as a team. We would have picnics, volleyball tournament, that kind of stuff. So, and now, we've all gotten older. We try to have reunions every couple of years or so. Nobody's racing. I'm the only one with a stupid supercharged truck, but everybody else is like, families, so family vehicles, and half of some of them are cops.
Oh,
They're all respectable people, and here I am, not
that's cool.
not not like them,
Ready
but
for race 3 yet?
it was good times. It was good times.
Yeah. I definitely remember hearing about all those and like like I said my friends were your guys' rivals and then it was yeah, I heard about you before I even met you guys.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
Wow.
But that was a long time ago. I think that was when I was still competing and fighting and not even that I never hardly ever went to the clubs and stuff. Yep.
And then there we were.
And there we were in all our
Yep.
splendor.
Yes.
They're still doing it. It's crazy. Actually, we're taking a break right now, but I don't know. Things might get interesting in the near future with Artist Group Network.
Okay.
I can't get away. I
Nice.
want to. It's like it keeps driving me back. And it's not like I even am enjoying it nearly as much as I used to. It's just good money. And for me,
Yeah.
the creating something out of nothing is more fun than actually being there and looking at all these young, stupid kids that are learning stuff I'm trying to forget.
Yes, been there.
Yeah. I just
But
can't have an event that my daughter shows up to. And that's
oh
when I
my
know
gosh.
I gotta be
Well, I
there.
mean, you have some time before that happens,
Yeah. Yep.
and hopefully you'll be retired by then.
Yeah, definitely hopeful.
Either that or just manage it to the point where other people are running it for you and you don't have to be there anymore.
I tried that and then I get into the most trouble because my employees or the people I have working just they just I mean, you know how promoting goes. Some people can
Yep.
handle it, sometimes it goes to their head, and then once you
Yes.
got to deal with that, it's like then they can't do it. It's yeah,
Yeah.
and plus too, I'm it's hard to trust our reputation that I help um keep going.
Build.
I didn't even build
Yeah.
it. You know what I mean? Like it's
Yeah.
Ronnie and them's legacy. So it's very important to me to keep it a certain way and do business a certain way. And I can't be letting
Right.
these young kids that are trying to fuck chicks and do drugs run my company.
That's what it
Yeah,
is.
yeah.
Oh
You
my
gotta do
gosh.
it discreetly. You know what I mean? Maybe not the
Yeah.
drugs, but yeah,
Yeah. You can't be a full-fledged man whore. You gotta like keep it
yeah,
under wraps somehow.
yeah. You
It's
gotta
gotta be
be a nice
secret so you
man
don't look
whore.
bad.
Yeah,
Yes, that's right. Be a respectable man whore.
yeah. Piss everybody off, and then nobody wants to come.
Oh gosh.
Yeah. Anyways, but like I said, you've been on the radio for such a long time, and I really enjoy listening to you on the radio. And
Thank you.
throughout the years, I've always been a fan and watched your career. And once you had that morning show at Chris Stiles, in my opinion, that was the best because you guys both together were like the perfect storm. You guys played off of each other super good. I know both of you personally, and I was like, fuck, that should have been done years ago because you guys honestly worked the best together, and that was something unique. It's like Lanai and Augie T. It was like one of those gems that was just there. And how did
Yep.
you like working with Chris every morning? Because he it must have been good fun to wake up knowing you'd be working with him in the morning.
I had so much stuff going on that at that time when they asked me to move over from Bomb to High 93 and do mornings with him, they hadn't even asked me the full question yet. And I was already saying yes. Yes, I'll do the morning show. Yes, I'll switch over. I couldn't wait. And I didn't need at the time, I didn't need the job either. Island Craft Fairs was doing well. I had some other things that were, I had going on the side. So if you don't need the money, what's going to keep you going back to a job that you don't consider a job is that you make it fun and that you look forward to being with the person that you're working with. And being with Chris was it was family. There was nothing fake. It was we played off of each other really, really good to where it was to the point where we would have people come in for interviews and the compliment or the comment was always, wow, you guys move really fast. Because in radio, I was always told, you don't have dead air. You don't stop talking. You don't say ums. I say all the time, but there's certain things that you don't do, right? And you don't talk about poop on air. You don't sing to a song. And we broke all the rules.
Oh yeah.
But it was he made it comfortable. I looked forward to getting up at 3:30 in the morning to go to work for just a couple of hours. And I liked it. We fed off of each other and it was a good, I liked that it was organic, that we knew each other for a long time too. and that we could do something together. And we had the same idea, which was making it a family show, at least until the kids go to school.
Yeah.
So that's what I kind of liked about it. So I enjoyed working with him.
Yeah. Shout out to Chris Stiles. Unfortunately, your time at the radio was cut to an end, and super disappointing as a fan, and I'm sure the radio station got bombarded with like what the fuck. And I don't know what happened if you want to talk about it.
Sure. So I thought I was getting called in for another reason. September 30th, it was a Monday. I got up, went to work. About an hour into work, I had sent in a vacation request for the end of the month, for the end of October. Every year, I travel and I go to this Great Dane National Dog Show. It's a dog show, just Great Danes. I'm the vice president for the Great Dane Club of Hawaii, so I go and I represent Hawaii. And I small kind look for dogs that I may or may not want to bring home, or look at the line so I know when it's time to breed because I only have girls. I know what popsicles to ship back. And popsicles are like frozen
Popsicle.
straws of the, yeah, that's what I call them. They're cute. I didn't want to call it like,
That's some Heidi shit right there.
just, well, yeah, you know what? Then that's the inner Heidi I have right now
Yeah.
because I didn't want to call it dog jizz. So yeah, I'm still in like
Erm.
radio mode, right? So I gotta be careful on what I say.
You can
So
say whatever you want on this show.
I know I can tell you drop F bombs and everything. But what you call so I see the dogs that I like and I, order and then the popsicles come in on a cryo tank and then you can store them for so many years until you're ready to use it and then it gets AI'd. But I sent in my vacation request and I sent it to my immediate boss and I sent it to HR. Within 15 minutes, I get an email from HR and they're like, can you come see me after the show? I thought because I didn't have any more vacation, I thought my boss was going to deny my request.
Oh,
So that's what I thought it was. So I went in during a halftime part of our show and they're like, you done? And I'm like, no, I got one more hour, but I don't have to be back on for another hour. They said, oh, just come see us after. I said, why? Are we going into another office? She says, yeah. And I said, did I do something wrong? And she's like, no, I don't think so. I said, okay. So I did the rest of my show. I did my midday and then I went into the HR's office. She's like, okay, let's go. So she grabs this big, thick file and I follow her. She passes my immediate boss's office and she goes into the general manager's office. The first 30 seconds of our meeting, I thought it was fake. I thought he was joking. I go in the office, they close the door. HR passes the folder across the desk. My boss looks at it, puts it aside. He says, I have very bad news. I said, yeah. He says, unfortunately, sales didn't do their job and we have to do cutbacks and you're part of it. And I said,
oh,
okay. And he says, I didn't want to do this. We're going to pay you to the end of the year. And he slides me this envelope. He says, this is your paperwork for Cobra. I said, all right. He says, I'm really sorry again. Let me know if there's anything I can do. I said, all right, short and sweet. Thank you. And I walk out. I get into the studio. I start packing my stuff. And I tell Chris, I said, well, I'm done. And he goes, you quit? And I said, no, I got laid off. And he's like, what? And I said, did you know? And he never said no.
oh,
He kind of just stared at the screen and he looked shocked. And he's like, I told him what happened. And he's like, that's why so and so from sales was saying that they weren't making their mark. And I said, yeah. I said, it's fine. It'll be okay. He says, what are you going to do? Are you going to go to another radio station? I said, radio is a dying breed.
yeah,
Listen to all the morning shows there are out there. I was like, there's really not much. You have one that's already syndicating a show from the mainland. I
yeah.
said, there's not much. Um, I said, but don't worry, I'll figure it out. He goes, you want to do a podcast? We can do a podcast. I said, I don't know. I said, I'm considering this vacation for the next 3 months and then I'll figure out what I'm going to do. He's like, okay. So he helps me with my stuff. We go downstairs. He hugs me bye. I leave. And at first in my head, I'm going, it's fine. It's a vacation for me. Sometime that night, something told me to open up the envelope. And I've never been laid off before, so I didn't know about Cobra paperwork.
Oh,
Well, this
yeah.
paperwork says your termination date is September 30th. You have till September 30th to submit this paperwork in order for you to continue medical. So the next morning, I
Oh,
woke up with no medical for my entire family.
holy
So
shit.
then I went from being okay to being pissed. And I wasn't pissed, I was in panic mode because my husband has had two surgeries on both shoulders in the last year. I have a heart condition. I have diverticulitis. So every 6 weeks, I'm having to go into emergency so I can get my meds. My daughter just had surgery on a torn ACL. She goes to PT twice a week. So I'm
Oh,
like, what the hell am I going to do? So I was panicking, called HR. I'm like, hey, I have no medical. How are you guys going to cut me on the last day? And I only had hours to fill out this paperwork. She's like, oh no, you have a week to do it. But I called Kaiser and Kaiser was like, no, you don't have medical.
holy
So
shit.
I had to figure out some things. Um, the other thing was I tried to apply for unemployment and I couldn't because the severance pay that they're paying me is in the form of a paycheck. So it looks like I'm getting a
Oh,
paycheck, like I'm still employed. So that kind of screwed me because when they let me go, all my endorsements stopped. In addition to my salary, I also had Cricket Wireless as an endorsement, Navy Federal. I did some other stuff. So that cut all that extra income.
hmm.
So throughout the next week, the sales from that company called me, text me. They're like, we're sorry, we didn't do our job. Um, we were shocked. We didn't think that they were laying you off. They said uh, other jocks from other stations called, other jocks from our stations called and text to, check on me, see how I was doing. And I found out probably about 2 days later that the same time they let me go, they let MJ go from the bomb, but she
Oh,
was part-time. So they let her go and didn't give her any notice or anything either. She was a lot more upset than I was about it. Um, the day after that, my dad finally calls. And this is how my dad knows if I'm okay or not. If I'm not on air for 2 days and I didn't tell him I'm on a vacation, he starts calling me. So he's like, I didn't hear you the last 2 days. Is everything okay? So I kind of told him what happened. And then this is where the anger set in. My dad says, wait, sales didn't do their job, but you did your job. I said, yeah. And he says, but you got let go. And I said, yeah. He goes, why didn't the sales managers who are in charge of the sales pit get let go?
yep.
I said, I don't know, but now I'm mad about it. So, first week went by, nobody noticed because the listeners thought, oh, she must be on vacation. Maybe kids got tournament. Week and a half goes by. And then that's when all the listeners start texting me and they're asking what's going on.
Yep.
3 weeks later, somebody took to Reddit and went to the Hawaii division of Reddit and asked where I was. And that's when somebody had said, oh, Rella and MJ, they got fired. And I was like, whoa, whoa, didn't get fired, got laid off. There's a difference. You get fired when
Yeah.
you do something wrong.
Yeah.
So
Definitely
I
difference.
ended up going on Instagram and I was really nice about it. I said, thank you, Reddit. And yes, after 18 years, through visionary related entertainment to Ohana Broadcast to Pacific Media Group, due to cutbacks, I've been laid off. So thank you for the messages. Thank you for helping me with two number one morning shows that I've been a part of, a long-standing number one midday show that I've been a part of, and I'm excited for what's next. So everybody is telling me, do a podcast, do a live stream,
I
you
even did
know,
told you to do a podcast.
yeah. And I'm like,
Yeah.
oh man, I don't even know how I'm gonna do this. I don't have any, materials for this or equipment or whatever. And I know he's gonna watch this. So I'm gonna put it all out there. And this might be the wrong place to put it because he doesn't know. But everybody contacted me. Everybody from the station contacted me. Um, and for 3 weeks, Chris Stiles didn't contact me.
Oh.
After we said our goodbyes in the parking lot, I never heard from him. From what I hear, he had some other things going on, so I understand. But 3 weeks later, he had to MC an event at my daughter's school, and he saw my daughters. And only then did he send me a text message that said, Oi, I saw your two things. But I didn't reply because the only reason why I feel he sent that text message was because he was worried he was going to run into me and feel guilty that he didn't check on me for 3 weeks. But now you want to send
Oh.
me a message making like it's okay. So that happens, you know? You wanted to know, I'm telling you.
Yeah, yeah.
So the end of October, I go and I go to Wisconsin. I go to this Great Dane dog show. And 2 days in Wisconsin, a listener sends me a message and goes, somebody put the radio station on blast. They picked up a live phone call and they asked where you were. And I said, oh, yeah? She goes, yeah. But they declined to say anything. They didn't, they kind of danced around the subject. And I said, yeah, they probably, Chris doesn't like to put my business out there unless he knows it's okay with me. So he's probably not going to say anything. And so she was like, well, they're probably going to replay it at 9 o'clock. And I said, I doubt it. I'm sure there was a lot of people who were calling and saying stuff and it wasn't aired. But sure enough, 9 o'clock comes and they air it again. I'm in Wisconsin, so I'm not even paying attention. I'm looking at dogs in a dog ring. And this listener sends me a screen record of the 9 o'clock hour. And it's my cousin Osna
Oh.
with Steezy, and somebody calls and asks where I was. And Chris basically said, I'm not at liberty to say. All I can tell you is she good. That number one ticked me off because you don't know if I'm good. You haven't checked on me.
Hmm.
So that kind of ticked me off, but it wasn't too bad. I mean, it's minor. And then he was like, yeah, just know that she's good. And my cousin Osna jumps in and he goes, yeah, might sting a little bit because, her cousin, me, is sitting in her seat right now, taking her place. And I was like, ooh, okay. But it's all for jokes, right? They're making fun. And Steezy's like, you cannot say stuff like that. And Osna was saying, you just had me battle rap. So I'm in that mode. So it was valid. And so Steezy goes, well, if you don't already, you can follow her, RELLA, on the radio, on Instagram. She does Island Craft Fairs. She's out and about every weekend. And Osna chimes in and says, oh, well, maybe she changed her name to RELLA off the radio.
Ooh.
And again, so another dig towards me, but I know he's making jokes. I'm not taking it personally. And Chris is again telling him, come on, stop. You got to stop doing that. And then he says, why? She's not listening anyway. She gets to sleep in. So after that, I came home. I said, I showed my husband the video. He was not happy.
Yeah, he's not
And
someone you want on their bad side.
yeah, yeah. He's like, I'm gonna broke his neck. I was like,
There
no,
you
it's
go.
okay. He's family. Leave him alone. He's 130 pounds soaking wet. Just, it's fine. So my son comes in and he's like, okay, you want to do this podcast, this live stream? I said, yep, I want to do it on these platforms, just during the morning ride. And he's like, okay. And we came into some kind of issue, some kind of problem. And so he did a little bit more searching and he was like, I found something for you. And I said, okay. He goes, you're going to love it. I said, tell me already. He says, Live 365. It's a radio station. It's a full-fledged radio station. So you can be live like a radio and it's yours. You can name it whatever you want. You can do this and that. And I was like, oh, you know what? I do love it. So we started it and it's crazy. I didn't realize all of the work that it entails. I didn't realize that it is a bare bones station. So when I bought it, I was like, okay, let's get started. I'm going to put music in here. There's this little search tab at the top, and I'm like, okay, search for music. So let's put in this title. Nothing comes up. Okay, let's put in this title. Nothing comes up. I go to the frequently asked questions, and then I realize that this is a bare bones radio station that has no music. I have to upload my own, which will only be my music. This Live 365 gives me copyright protection. So whatever I play is copyrighted under them. But when I upload the music, I need to enter the correct spelling and info as far as artist, title, release date, and the album cover. That
Okay.
way, that system will pull what I'm playing and submit the royalties to the right artist.
Oh, okay.
So that in itself was crazy. That took me a long time to do. Still didn't even do it. I didn't realize that the minute I uploaded one song, it instantly made my radio station live.
Oh, wow.
So if I only upload one song, you would hear that one song on auto DJ just playing.
That'd be the
And
shittiest station ever.
bruh, and this is me not just as a listener, but someone in radio. My pet peeve has always been through decades and decades and decades of music. Why do we play the same freaking song
Yep.
every 70 minutes?
Yep.
Okay, I get it because such and such record label is going to pay you extra for certain amount of spins, which I'm not supposed to say because that's illegal. I think it's called payola, whatever it is. But that's what happens. Oh, we'll give you extra money for this concert you're going to throw if you play this artist so many times. Well,
Yeah.
guess what? I'm not getting any payola. I can play whatever the hell I want.
Yeah.
So I finally get a chance to listen to whatever music I want. It's like listening to my iPod. But I started to upload the music and I'm like, okay, I got to do different genres. I did different genres, but I couldn't organize. I have OCD. So sometimes my OCD will kick in and there is a certain order that things need to happen. So the music got to go in. When the music goes in, okay, I got to schedule a log, but I need to have sweepers saying, this is RELLA radio. Listen to this at this time. We got to do our morning shows. What are we going to talk about? And until I get a log in, like a schedule where I schedule the song, the sweeper, the legal ID, talking in between, another song, talking in between, until I get all of that done, my library is just going to shuffle music. And
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God, it's bipolar. It's going to play it's going to go from Marilyn Manson or it's going to go from like Linkin Park to, I don't know, Willie
Anu
K
Hill.
down to like, I don't know, Black 808. It's like almost like, oh my gosh. But after listening to it for a couple of days, I was like, I kind of like this mix of everything.
I like, remember Radio Free back in the day? Radio Free Hawaii?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's exactly what that reminds me of.
Yeah. So I liked it. But the new stress then became, I feel my ears getting red. The new stress then became that if every song, especially the new songs nowadays, are like 3 minutes, I need 20 songs. I need 40 songs for an hour. I need 480 songs in order to cycle through a 24-hour period. I didn't have anywhere
And not
close to that
replay a
uploaded
song. Yeah.
and
Not
not
have one
replay. So
replay.
that's my thing, right? I don't want to
Yep.
play a song. I want to replay a song in 24 hours. I want all different stuff. And I was like, I only got 200 uploaded. And it takes a while to go through all of that and make sure
Oh
everything
man.
is right. So at this time, I probably only have like 700 up. And after the first 4 days of us being up, kind of sort of fully, at least having the morning and the midday show up, I'm already over the songs. So I gotta find more music. But to find more music, I need more hours in a day because I've got soccer games to go to. I've got island craft fairs that we're doing. I'm going to school right now to be a personal trainer. So I have two
Oh
classes that I'm
wow.
taking right now. So it's a lot to handle. And then it's the added stress of I don't have this extra income coming in now. So how am I going to pay for the house I just bought? So it's been the last I guess 2 months or so have been crazy. More so since we launched the radio station. Um, and I don't know, you know what? I can say this. And going back to the radio, I'm very careful in what I say. I would never disrespect any of the companies that I'd work for. One, because you don't want to burn bridges. Two,
Yeah.
because it's just it's a corporation and that's what they do. And no matter how much a company says, oh, we're family oriented. You're family oriented, but you let go of somebody who had a family to feed.
Yeah.
And that's because it's mainland owners. And 30 days after I was let go, and on their look at their track record, they've been letting people go on the last day of the month. The general manager that let me go got let go on October 31st. And I don't know if he knew it was coming, probably not. But but he was just doing his job. I don't know whether I was chosen or not. I do know that the week that I was let go, that something was said by my general manager and said it was something to the effect of we need to look for younger so and so's. So there was somebody that replaced MJ on the morning show, and she was a younger girl. And they said that they needed to scout for more young girls like that because they work for cheaper. So I don't know if that had anything to do with it. Probably not, but I wasn't relieved. It didn't make me feel any type of way when the general manager was let go. When I told my husband, he got mad. I was like, "Why are you mad?" He says, "Don't you think they should have let him go before letting go the talent, meaning you guys?"
That makes
And
sense.
I said, yeah. So then I got mad all over again. I was like, "You're right. They should have let him go before me." I was like, I cannot be angry all the time. Just I've let it go already. Just let me try and concentrate on this godforsaken station that I thought was going to be easy, and it's not because now I'm the station manager. I'm the music programmer. I'm the production person that's doing all the sweepers and everything because I have to make it legit. I'm the DJ. This is not what I signed on for. But on average, since we started the morning show, Devin from who used to be on Kumu, Devin from 94.7 Kumu, he got laid off July 29th. And he's been doing the morning show with me. He's been nice enough to drive all the way from Kailua, come to
Oh,
my
wow.
home and do the show here. But since we've been on, I don't know, since November 7th or so, we average about 500, 600 people within the 24-hour period.
Yeah.
So we have people listening, and the analytics is cool. The system I have, it pings where everybody is listening from.
Yep.
So we have like listeners in Albuquerque, Vegas, California, Texas, Kansas, Maryland, and then of course we have Big Island, Maui, and a lot of people on Oahu. So it was nice to see that people have followed me or just curious, listening in, seeing, how I'm doing or if it's any different than regular radio. And like I said, radio is a dying breed. So now that you can listen to your Spotify or your iTunes on your phone, people don't listen to regular radio. And
Yeah.
if you want to listen to talking, you can listen to a podcast. We
Yep.
can listen to you at any time of the day.
Correct.
So mine is a live radio show, but it's internet based. I have less overhead. Um, I have way more stress, but I mean, I love it for the most part. I love having the control over being able to play what I want to play. And I can make it, I can make it explicit if I want to, but I still want it to be family oriented and I still want kids to be able to listen.
Yeah.
And so my hope is that this will be a regular thing, at least when the families are driving to school, and we can reincorporate. When I was on High 93, it was my thing, which was the whose kid is this? Because the one thing my husband had said when I was on the bomb with Ding Dong, um, he said, I cannot listen to you. I got the kids in the car. You guys are doing stupid second date update and talking about this and that, and it's inappropriate for the kids. So when I moved over, the number one thing I wanted to do was make sure that it was family friendly and parents didn't need to worry about having to change a station or being worried if we were going to say something inappropriate.
Yeah.
So I'm still going to take that avenue. And once I figure out the live stream thing and being able to, well, not the live stream, but being able to take calls on the system that I'm using, then we're going to get that whose kid is this thing started all over again so the kids can participate.
Oh, that's
So
super cool. So how
it
proud
is
are
something.
you? How proud are you to get this thing started? Because shoot, I've seen you at one of the craft fairs. What I feel like was a month ago, and I was trying to talk you into doing a podcast, and now you're doing
Yes.
this, which is 20 times
Worse.
more your, but it's in your wheelhouse. This is definitely way more rela than just a podcast. This is you, and it's all yours. It is all yours. So you have creative control, you have the marketing, and you will be able to get your own sponsors, and it's all
Yes.
yours. And shoot, one, you getting 500 listeners a day, and you've been on how many times? Like,
Since November 7th.
so like less than a month, less than like three
Yeah.
weeks.
Yeah.
You gotta be proud. Like, I'm proud for you.
Thank you.
That's pretty remarkable. And from that, it's gonna grow. Cause I assume once people listen to you, then they're always gonna listen to you. That's just how your shows are. If you can grow now, it's not just in Hawaii, people driving from Hawaii, it's people driving all over United States and probably the earth if it's internet based. And I didn't even know that such a thing existed. I couldn't
I,
do it
you
because
know,
everybody would be listening to Metallica all day.
there's nothing wrong with Enter Sandman.
Yeah, but I would be my
Um,
own listener.
no, I mean it's being proud. No, I do get excited. Like the first day I was like, oh, there's 30 people listening. And then like, the morning show will end and it'll go down to like 12 and then I'll have like a steady 8 people that listen all day. And now it's like a steady from the morning show throughout the day. I have like 30 something listeners that listen all day long. And how I make my money without getting the sponsorships or the paid advertisements yet is there's already commercials that are scheduled in there.
Okay.
And every time it's listened in, I get a certain amount. It's split. It's like a 50-50 share with me and Live 365. So if I've got 20 people listening for 24 hours, that's 480 listening hours or whatever the heck it is. And they're listening to 4 minutes of commercials each time. Every time I get like 20,000 commercials that are listened to, it's not much. I mean, it's like YouTube, you get like, I don't know, $20, whatever it is. But just with that alone and only having maybe 30 listeners on a daily basis, after a month, it would pay my 1 year subscription.
Oh,
Um,
nice.
so it adds up, but what also adds up is they have different brackets. So if I have more listening hours, um, they put me into another bracket. Oh, you need to pay more for this, but we'll give you this and we'll give you that. So, for example, I've already surpassed in the first week, I surpassed my regular amount of listening hours, which is you shouldn't get more than 1,500 listening hours in a week, in a month. I did that in a
Wow.
week. And it might have been me and my son listening to the show. I don't know, but or just my relatives. I don't know. But we surpassed it. So I had to upgrade. But with the upgrade, it gave me better quality music that I could upload. It
Oh,
also
nice.
gave me, I forget what it's called, but it enables Alexa to let people search for me.
Oh, wow.
So
Okay.
you can go, I just submitted all the paperwork for it. So it should probably be up and enabled in a couple of weeks. But basically, you would just say, um, Alexa, enable Live 365. And then when it says Live 365 opened, you go, Alexa, play Rella radio. And it'll go playing Rella radio and it plays. And if you're like on, if you're on the computer or whatever, and you're doing Alexa that way too, you can search for it and like my graphic will pop up and stuff like that. But that's being worked on. A Rella radio app is going to be worked on. So instead of having to
Yeah.
download the Live 365 app, you download the Rella radio app, you click on it and hit play, and then it plays it.
Wow.
So kind of cool.
That's super
It's
cool.
I thought oddly enough, my most exciting moment was okay, my OCD, right? I gotta be a full-fledged station. I gotta be legit. I don't want all these other jocks who were happy that I got laid off or whatever. I don't want them to downplay what I'm doing. I don't want them to discount it. So I need call letters. Is that like a real thing? So I looked it up and you can buy call letters for your station, radio station, internet radio station. You can buy legit call letters that make it your own. And at the top of the hour, like how 939 is KIKI, High 93 is KQMQ.
Yeah.
And by legalities, you're supposed to announce that at the top of every hour. I bought mine. So I searched for RELLA. K. So if you're on the West Coast, everybody's call letters start with the letter K.
Okay.
If you're on the East Coast, I think all your letters start with like a W or something like that. So I was looking for call letters that were like KRELLA, KRLA. But there's a LA radio station that already has it. So I named my station KREL, KREL. So I bought it and I'm a legit radio station with call letters and everything via the internet with less overhead. And so I was proud of that. I was proud
That's
that I had
super
call
sick.
letters and that made me legit, is or at least in my mind.
Well,
So
that's all that matters. If people were to listen to it going, like, say if I want to listen to it in the morning, the way I got it was on Instagram. You posted it and I went to your link and then I followed the links. But if I were to want to listen to it while I'm driving to work, how could I do that?
okay, so there's a couple of ways. If you have a newer vehicle where you can activate your Android Auto or your Apple CarPlay,
Oh, okay.
you already have Live 365 on your dash. So you could do that. You can download the Live 365 app from Apple, the App Store, or Google Play,
Okay.
or you could log on to live365.com. You don't have to sign into any of these things. You can go to the website, you can download the app, it never asks you to sign in. Once you're there, in any of those three outlets, either the website, Android Autoplay on your car, or the app on your phone, you just go into the little search box and type in RELLA, RELLA, and then you'll see my little icon pop up that says RELLA on the radio and says KREL because I'm a station. And then you press it and you hit play and then that's it. Ta-da! So
Wow.
that's live. Um, and we've also been doing video because I invested in these cameras that
Yeah.
thank you for suggesting. And now I'm forced to use it because I'm like, okay, well, we still have to do the video and I'll get it up on my YouTube page when I get it. And then
Perfect.
we'll do it to all the platforms as soon as I figure out how to make sure, the videos match the voice
Yeah.
and there's no latency. Because I don't want Devin's face to be showing and it's my voice coming out of his mouth and it kind of looks odd. Although I do have a deeper voice than he does. So, but yeah, so I have to figure out that part. We'll still be able to, that way people can rewatch the shows like a podcast.
Yep.
So,
And you can
but as of right now,
upload all the audio to all the podcast platforms. Like you just pull the audio off and I use Buzzsprout and I put it on Buzzsprout and then boom, it goes to everything. It's just
nice,
yeah, I'll teach you how to do it, but it if you go on Buzzsprout, I'm sure you could figure it out, but they give you a RSS number, you plug it into each one and it's all on the website. You plug it into all the each one when you launch it, boom, like you go to sleep, you can schedule when it launches. It's
nice.
there in the morning and that's what
I
I've
need
been
that.
doing and you have the content. You just pull off the audio and like then people can listen to your audio without the music, with the music, don't matter. It's what like you said that show um on one of the stations that's outsourced to the mainland, the Woody Show. They pull off all their audio and put it as a podcast, and people listen to
Ah,
it as a
yeah.
podcast. Yep.
Yep.
Well, I'm super proud that you're doing this. I
Thank you.
I knew you were gonna do something cool, but I didn't know it was gonna be this cool. I thought it'd be just a podcast and people can listen to it. And of course, you outdid my expectations. So that's kind of the trend. Having your own radio station is definitely something I could see you doing and running. And shit, in 1 month, you've been less than a month. This is how far you've come. I want to talk to you again in about a year and see what happened and Yeah, I my dream when I was a little kid was to be a DJ, so I want dibs as one show at one part or moment in your week
Yes,
on your radio
anytime.
station. That would be sick, and I get to pick the music.
That's right.
That
That's
would be
right.
super dope. Wow,
It'll be all
I didn't
Linkin
even
Park.
yep. And I'll be the only one listening to it. I'm so proud of what you're doing. That's super amazing.
Thank you.
Wow, my mind is blown. I didn't know, I didn't even know that was a thing. I didn't like fuck all these other radio stations. Like you have your own. Like why wouldn't you? Like you know how it runs. You know what works and doesn't work. You have no corporate overhead or boss or anybody to answer to, and you're the fucking talent. You're the reason why people listen anyway. So
Oh,
what's the
thanks.
it just makes sense. You know what I mean? Like, why should someone above you control the reason why people are even listening to the radio? That now
Yeah.
you can do it all. That's sick. Wait do I tell Heidi what you're doing?
Well, did I even talk? I saw her
Oh,
when I flew out to Wisconsin. She was in the United Club Lounge. They were going to the Philippines.
oh, okay,
Philippines?
yeah. They just came. Yeah, they just came back.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. So I saw her when she was flying out. And I didn't know I wasn't doing the radio station yet because I hadn't heard that clip about my cousin cloning me.
yeah.
So I told her about the podcasting. I told her about how I ran into you and all the suggestions that you made and everything like that. And she's like, "Oh, you'll do really good."
She
And it was nice to see
guaranteed.
her. We got to do lunch now. But yeah, it's I'm waiting to be able to. I think the great thing about being in radio for that long was I learned how it was run, how they ran it. I learned about the logs and how it should be scheduled. Um, and I learned what not to do. So I'm not a pro at it. I've never had to schedule music at the radio station when I was there, but now I'm forced to because I decided let's make a radio station. So, but it definitely helped me being there all those years through all those different companies. It's definitely it was a good thing to learn, a good experience, and now I can apply it in my own ways. And once I have gotten the log thing down pat and I have all my day parts and all the everything scheduled the way it should be, I need to wait personally. I want to wait for 30 days. And when my analytics shows this is how many listeners I have during this time from these areas of, region of the US and UK and Canada and everything, then I'll feel comfortable going to solicit to sell ad spots and
Yep.
have people advertise on the show and get sponsorships and all that kind of stuff. Until then, doesn't matter how long I've been in radio, I'm still nobody. Nobody knows how much listeners I get and how long they really listen for. And if it made a difference if I was on the High 93 show or on the Bomb show or having a number one morning show when it was me, Sam, and Ryan and everybody else, now I have the reins, which I can say this as well because it's not frowning on the company, it's frowning on who my immediate boss was. Every time it was posed that my name should go first or maybe I should be the lead, the response was females are not leads in morning shows. So now we'll see what difference that makes
Yep. Let's
because
go.
I'm doing it all now. I have no choice. It's not what I wanted to do, but we'll see what happens.
That's super cool. Yeah, I definitely want to see what happens. Wow, that's huge, and I didn't even know that that was a possibility. Like that's insane how the internet works, and
Yeah.
you you did your work. Your son helped you out. Like I'm blown away. That's like a full on radio station. That's gonna be something, and leave it to you to be the one that fucking tells me about it. That's crazy. Good for you. That's yeah, that makes my little podcast freaking offer to just not even be a real thing. Like that way outdoes that. Like I thought you'd be amazing just doing a podcast. Now you're gonna do this, and yeah, that's that's crazy. You're that's I can't wait to see how this blows up, and I want your first bumper sticker.
I
Yeah,
hope it does. I hope it's not just a trend. I hope I don't give up. Because it's a lot of work, and I have times
yeah,
where I'm having meltdowns. I'm getting up at 3:30 in the morning for this stuff, and I don't know how somebody who is unemployed takes on another job that still doesn't pay them. So,
yeah,
I'm glutton for punishment like that. Yeah. So I'm hoping it'll get better. And the reward will come hopefully sooner than later.
yeah,
But yeah, and the podcasting, people still ask, oh, so it's live, but can you re-listen?
yeah,
Because not everybody is awake at that time. They still want to listen. So it's still we've got to do both avenues. I want to keep everybody happy. So, but whenever you want to take on a day shift, anytime, you let me
yeah.
know because
I'd
that's
be
less
super
amount of time
down.
I gotta talk.
I'd be down for that. Definitely down. Yeah, that'd be
Very
super cool.
cool.
As long as I could do it from my house, I'd be super down.
Yep, you can do it. You can do it anywhere. As you can see, we
All right.
broadcast from my house. So
That's
you can have
awesome.
a internet radio station anywhere. That's kind
That's
of cool.
super cool. I'm impressed. I know you touched on it really quickly, but I've known you to do this from back in the day, and it was, I forget the name, something etched glass, right?
Oh, it was okay. So when I first started my etched glass business, it was called Etched in Hawaii.
Okay, I knew it was something etched.
And then I changed it and then went about 3, 4 years. And then I changed it to Midnight Glassworks because midnight racing,
Yep.
Midnight Mama. So I changed it to Midnight Glassworks, and it's been Midnight Glassworks from 2007 till I kind of sort of stopped doing it in 2019. And I stopped doing it then because I had a falling out with a promoter. I was doing craft fairs as Midnight Glassworks, and I had a falling out with a promoter that treated my son terribly when he was working for me. And then she tried to get me fired from the radio station. So my way and challenge accepted. So my way of getting revenge was to start a event promotions company and take all her vendors. So I started Island Craft Fairs in 2019
That's what I'm
um,
talking about. Wait,
because I
so you get fired from the radio station, so you start your own radio station. You get drama with a craft fair promoter, so you can start your own craft fairs.
there seems to be a pattern here.
Now that I think about it,
Yeah, there's a
that's
pattern.
crazy.
So
So
yeah,
yeah,
so I've
let
been
me know
doing
about
Island
your
Craft
craft
Fairs.
fair. Yeah, because I see it all the time, and I seen you at the one in the mall, one at Pro
Uh-huh.
Ridge.
And because of that, I haven't had a chance to have my own booth as Midnight Glassworks. I have a warehouse full of glass that's still blank. And when I got let go from the radio station, I was like, well, I have time now. I can make product for Christmas. This would be the perfect time. But no, no, that would be too easy. Let's start a brand new radio station with no music in the library and start from scratch and have sleepless nights. Let's just do that because if life is easy, it would be boring. Remember
Oh
that,
yeah,
people.
100%.
So yeah, so I haven't done the etch glass or the water bottles or any of that kind of stuff. I want to start getting into it again, but I need to, just like with you and the promoting, I need to leave it in the hands of people that I can trust. That's not
Yeah,
going to tarnish my name. That's going to treat the vendors with care and respect like I treat them. Because at the end of the day, being a promoter, at least being a promoter for craft fairs, an event promoter, your job is to make sure that your vendors are successful,
yeah,
and like for you, your job is to make sure that all of your patrons are having a good time
yeah,
and they're paying you a cover at the door to make sure that you're giving them a good time. Whether it be to the advertising to make sure everybody comes, paying the DJ that's going to play good music, the servers that are in there that are going to get tipped out good because they're doing good service. for me, it's the same thing, the promotions, the marketing, having good staff, um, buying in, yes, I did, buying an ATM machine so that your old kupuna who have businesses who do not do the little square thing or don't know how to use credit card machines and only accept cash will have their shoppers go to my ATM machine and go take money out so they can go buy from the kupuna that made a little handcrafted crochet something or other.
Nice.
And so when I feel confident that my staff can do the logistics, the scheduling, run the event on their own without me being there, then I'll feel comfortable doing Midnight Glassworks as a vendor at that event and selling my stuff myself.
That's
So,
crazy.
so yeah,
Well, it's
etch
Christmas
glass,
time right now, so
it is.
what events do you have coming up? Because this is like your bread and butter time of year, right?
It pretty much is. It secures me and my staff financially at least the first quarter of the next year because it's so crazy with events and people shopping and vendors wanting to make money too on this time of year. So depending on when you're going to release this, we have Black Friday weekend at the former Toys R Us space at Pearl Ridge.
Oh, wow.
That's going to be November 29th, 30th, December 1st.
Okay.
Um, After that, we have, you ready? Ali'iolani Elementary School, December 2nd. That's a Saturday. The following weekend, every second Saturday of the month, we do Kamakana Ali'i.
Oh,
Now,
nice.
this one at Kamakana Ali'i, the second Saturday in December, this is our Mahalo'i Kaukumu holiday gift fair and school supply drive for
Oh, nice.
teachers. So Mahalo'i Kaukumu means to thank your educator or thank your kumu. And a lot of these educators pay out of pocket for school supplies at the beginning of the year. They already get paid crap.
Yeah.
So to have to buy school supplies for the keiki that come without, that's more money out of their pocket that they can afford, they can use to, supply themselves, support their families. And it's not just school supplies that these educators are buying. They're buying slippers,
Hmm.
they're buying snacks, because some of the kids come to school hungry. They buy plain t-shirts in case the kids are coming to school with dirty shirts or ripped shirts, backpacks, board games to play in school with the kids. Um, Now, by the time December comes around and all the kids go home for a couple of weeks, whatever the teachers had bought at the beginning of the school year has already depleted, whatever the school
Yeah.
supplies were. So we're doing a school supply drive um, for our teachers. And what we do is we target the schools that just missed a cutoff. They have this thing called Title I funding. If I'm probably going to get this wrong, but I think it's if there's at least 44% of the students are on Section 8, then the school will get this Title I funding, extra money to help with these kids. Now, there are some schools that don't make the cut. They had 43% or
Oh,
42% of the kids that are Section 8. So I go and I find those schools that miss the cutoff and we give to those schools.
nice.
So we'll be doing that second Saturday of the month. That's December 8th, I believe. And it's from 11 to 5. If you come and you drop off school supplies to center stage, you sign a little entry blank and you enter to win a $100 Visa gift card. Not much, but
Okay.
it's a thank you.
Yeah.
And then we go and we deliver the supplies to the school. But we have that. We have um, Ala Moana. No, I lied. Kamakana is December 14th. But we have Ala Moana. We have a holiday pop-up shop the last week just before Christmas, December 18th to the 23rd. All of those can be found on the website. So if anybody's interested, you want to get some Christmas shopping done and find one-of-a-kind gifts, then you can check it out, islandcraftfairs.org. And then just click on featured. There's each island has a tab, but the featured tab is the tab that has all the events that I put on.
Okay.
All the other islands will have our events too, but I also put other notable events on there so that maybe if I'm not doing something on a certain day, there might be someone else that's doing
Okay.
something. So the shoppers and the vendors can find out more information on it. But yeah,
That's super cool.
islandcraftfairs.org.
That's super awesome. Shoot, we've been going for over an hour, and I'm gonna have to get you back on eventually because I got way more shit I want to talk to you about. But I think we're good
Sorry,
with.
I'm Portuguese.
I'm just blown away. I think, yeah, I really didn't understand that whole radio thing to now. It's super detailed, and yeah, I'm blown away. But yeah, these craft fairs this time of year, where can people find you on social media? So if people want to check out your radio station and also your craft fairs.
Ooh, okay. So most of it is all done. So craft fairs, you can check out Instagram or Facebook. Look for Island Craft Fairs. For me, you can look up Rella on the radio, Instagram or Facebook. And right now, that's the info for the radio station too. I just got the website, KREL Radio. I also have rellaontheradio.com. So right now, there's way too much stuff going on, but for the most part, rellaontheradio.com and Instagram, Rella on the Radio, you can find all the details there. Um, Everything else is in the works. My own app is coming out. The website, I need it to be a legit website
Hmm.
for a legit radio station. That way I can sign on to all these outlets that let me download music for free. So I have to be
Oh,
legit so I
nice.
can get free music. So
Nice.
working on it.
Right on. And for us, as always, you can find us on Instagram at Above the Bridge Podcast. Our YouTube's Above the Bridge Podcast. My website is atbpod.com because I need to be legit like her. And my
No
Instagram is
way.
Thaddy Daddy High. Isn't it cool
So
to make your own website?
it
Mine
totally
is
is.
very like cookie cutter, but when I first launched it and I put in our website and it pops up and I use Wix. I don't know what you use, but I'm like, oh, it's pretty cool to
It's
know.
cool.
Yeah,
And
have
inside joke, since my husband is not here and your Instagram is Fatty Daddy, do you know that when you text me, I didn't realize that your phone number is still listed as Fattykins.
Oh, that's very Heidi-ish. Also, I remember
Yes,
that.
yes. Oh
That's
my gosh.
hilarious.
But yeah, Fattykins. I was like, okay, I gotta change this. I'm gonna get in
That's
trouble.
funny. Well, I appreciate you taking time out, and as always, it's good to talk to you. I know when
Thank
I
you.
seen you at Pro Ridge, my fiance was like, "Oh yeah, that she must be your really good friend." I'm like, "Yup, that's somebody I known for a very long time, and she can talk
Yep.
for a very long time." And that's how we are. And I think um I the sky's the limit for you, and honestly everything you've been doing, especially as a mom
Thank you.
too. And I guess the next time you come on, I'll talk to you about being a mom because I wanted to hit on that, but we're running out of time. And
Yeah.
I'm so in tune to how you are as a mom because you probably the funnest mom out there. Just like I'm the
My
funnest
teenager
dad.
doesn't think so. Yes,
Yeah.
you are the funnest dad. You're the cool dad.
Yep. Anyways, thank you again for coming on. I definitely want to
Thank you.
see how your radio station is in the future, and if given the opportunity, I'm definitely down to do something on it. That's one of my lifelong dreams was to
Awesome.
be a DJ, and this podcast is the closest thing I've got. Being that I do still sound like a little toddler or a little kid on a
You do
microphone.
not. But I'm gonna hold you to it.
Yep.
You're gonna have a shift.
I'd be super down for that. But thank you
Awesome.
again.
Thank
Hopefully
you.
your craft fairs do well and happy
Thank you.
holidays to you and your fam. Tell your husband I said what's up. He used to always be in
Same
the
to
club
you.
too, and I definitely remember him at
Yes.
Pipeline and all those days back then.
Yep.
Right on. Well, shakas for the cameras. Right on. We're out. Shout out to the Artist Groove Network. Aloha.